Welcome to Bonesaw Poker. I'm Brad, and in this video, we're going to get into how to play out of the blinds at Live 1-2. Let's get into it. Okay, so when I'm playing online, I play a really tight 3-better fold small blind strategy. And it's going to look pretty much like this for the most part. And it's 3-better fold. If it's a looser table, I might call with that if the big blind's real passive. But for the most part, it's tight and 3-better fold. Now, when we're playing live, my small blind is going to look like this. And again, it's going to be pretty tight. And we're going to 3-bet our big hands. Now, here's where it changes, though. So, if we have doubled up and somebody else has doubled up, now our small blind range is going to look like this, because we want to get in pots with somebody that's doubled up. So it could look this loose, could look that loose. If the big blind's really passive and we're not worried about him 3-betting unless he's, picks up aces or kings or a big slick, we might even try to go this loose. The thing about it is we need to be dynamic. When we're in the small blind and we've got 400 in front of us at a live 1-2 table, and somebody else, especially if they're on our right, has doubled up, and if there's 2 people on the right that have doubled up, we definitely want to get in pots with them because we have the implied odds. So we're going to do more calling. We're still going to 3-bet our strong hands, but then we're going to call a lot more with these other hands to see a flop. Now, if the big blind is aggro, that changes it. We're going to have to tighten back up. And we're going to want to 3-bet more to discourage the big blind from playing. So we might 3-bet these and then try calling with some of these other ones. And you have to kind of play that by ear. But you really have to look at the dynamics of the table to make that decision and really decide, how does the big blind play? I mean, if they only 3-bet aces and kings, okay, then it's easy to see what they have when they do it. Now, on the flip side, let's say that the cutoff has 125 in front of them, button has 100, cutoff raises to $6, button calls. There's not that much to fight for. When there's not a lot in there to fight for, I would personally tighten back up again. But that's up to you if you want to play a little bit looser. But in my opinion is, if there's not a lot to fight for, we're going to need bigger hands. The SPR is going to shrink real quick. So if we have 400 in front of us and we're fighting for, they have 100 or $125 in front of them, I mean, they don't even have 100 big blinds in front of them. SPRs are going to shrink real quick, and we're going to need big hands. So I would go back to playing tight like that. So we go anywhere from being this tight, depending on the dynamics, to being this loose, also dependent on the dynamics. I'm saying is, you can't have just a static small blind play. It really depends on stack sizes and player type. I might play this loose. Now, you might say, I'm never playing this loose out of the small blind. It's just way too loose. And that's fine, because you're playing really, really speculative hands in the worst position on the table. And if you don't want to play this loose, that's fine. All I'm saying is, when you get doubled up and somebody else is doubled up, you want to see flops with them because of the implied odds. If you can get 400 out of them with a 10-8 suited, that's awesome. I would try to see flops. Again, you're still going to 3-bet your big hands. Now, let's talk big blind. If I'm, you're going to 3-bet your big hands again. and depends on how big you want to 3-bet. And that's, with the table dynamics, you might want to 3-bet this wide. You might want to 3-bet wider. Personally, out of the big blind, I'm probably going to keep my 3-betting really more to this and call with the rest, because we're closing the action. That is, if we're closing the action. Now, I'm probably going to play, if we're closing the action, I'm going to play this loose in the big blind, somewhere in that neighborhood. I might play all of those. Again, if we've doubled up to 400, let's say the button's got 400 or 500 in front of them, we got 400 or 500 in front of us, and we can close the action for $8. I might do unsuited aces, get all of those suited kings in, because we really want to play flops with these guys cheaply for the implied odds. If we have 400 each in front of us and it's $8, call it. It's the easiest. You're out of position. It's easy to play. If you whiff, let it go. And you're probably going to whiff, and that's fine. But we're looking to get into it when we hit something that hopefully we can drain them. And that's the whole idea behind it. Now, there's other websites that'll tell you to play even more hands in the big blind. I disagree. I think some of the stuff is just way too much. It's a lot of nonsense. And remember, you're out of position. People always forget that. You're out of position post-flop, other than to the small blind. So even if you played a more tighter big blind under normal conditions, that's fine. And also, too, is let's say the cutoff goes $8 and button and small blind fold, and he's got $60-70 in front of him. I don't know. How much do you really want to fight for it? You better have a pretty big hand, in my opinion. And then either 3-bet it, jam it, or, just wait to see what the SPR is when you get to the flop and make your decision, see if you hit anything. But stack sizes and player type matter. We're not just doing the cookie cutter, well, this is your big blind calling range against a cutoff. No. What are the stack sizes? What's the player type? All these things have to be thought about. So that's kind of the quick down and dirty on it. I just wanted to kind of go over something quickly, not do a real long video, not drag it out, but just trying to get the point across that pre-flop we need to be dynamic on a live table. The games are soft, people are drinking, they've come to gamble, that we're not playing these static, pokercoaching.com charts of this hand against this hand. Look to see who's playing, see what their stack size is, and go from there. Don't throw your poker brain out the window and just play static charts. So that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching. So we didn't get real in-depth in this video on that, but I just wanted to go over the difference between playing in the blinds live versus online, and just trying to get the point across about being dynamic in the blinds, that how the table's playing, what the players ahead of you have for stack sizes is really what determines what you play out of the blinds, not some starting hand chart that you got from pokercoaching.com that says I must play this in this spot and I must 3-bet these hands and play like a robot. Not live. Live, you need to be watching your players like a hawk, watching the whole table dynamics play out, and adjust your ranges accordingly. Use your poker brain to outplay these guys and to play better than them. And better sometimes means loosening up your ranges, and sometimes it means tightening them up. So that's what this is about. For Bonesaw Poker, I'm Brad. Thanks for watching, and remember, everything you want is on the other side of fear.